Hi, I'm going to talk a little bit about optimizing a creative that has already been optimized quite a bit in terms of size. As you can see here, this is a 1.21 kilobytes, which is one meg, and 21 kilobytes is quite large. And so there's a carousel of 10 different slides. There's quite a few slides, and if you look here, each image is actually about 100K. So if you add all those up, 10 images, you're going to get over 1 meg. So what do? So when I actually look at this image, you can see here that the image rendition was turned on, which is correct. However, the original image was 4800 by 3600. This is a 4K resolution image. And a 4K resolution image is very large. We normally recommend a 1920 by 1080 as the standard image size to start out with for ads. You're using quite a high fidelity image to begin with. And so if you look here at the largest size, the width of this is only 800. So we only need an 800 wide. And so you can see all of these renditions all the way down from the top are quite large. So what I would recommend is not starting with such a large image, but starting with a 1920 by 1080 image. That's pretty much the only way you're going to be able to do this. I mean, we could change our rendition system to actually take this down even further, but we're still going to need a size that's going to be around that 800. So what I recommend you do is, as you can see here, we can download that image. There's a little download button here. I download the image, and look, you can see it's quite a high resolution image. I'm going to save image as. I'm going to put it into a folder here under Brian Milton. I'll just save this as slide 10 4800, like this. And then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to open up, and I happen to use the Paint program. Let me open up the Paint, and I'll go to the slide image 10, which is 3.1 megabytes. It's very large. And let me just zoom this in a little bit. As you can see, it is very large. So this is 4800 by 3600 pixels. I'm going to just take that image, and I'm going to adjust the size of it, and I'm going to shrink it down to 1920 by, in this case here, 1440. And I could actually keep the 7262 resolution per inch. Let me just do that and say okay. Now if I zoom up, you can see that it still is very high fidelity, even down to that size, even at the starting point of the 1920 by 1440. And I could just file and I could save it. Let me just save as, and let me just create another one, and I'll call this one small, like that. And now because the image is used, it's only 800, I think we should try another one. Let me just image, and let's just shrink the actual size down to, and let's make that half. So percentage, and let's make that 50%. And there we go. And now even if I zoom into that one, it's still very high fidelity image, as you can see. So I'll just save this, file, save. And now let's go back to the actual creative. So if I go back to the creative now and I replace that image, now I could go to the 1920 by 1081, and that's actually a JPEG, which is 3.7 megs. I could do that, or I could add the small one. And let me just add the small one. And as you can see there, by adding that, replacing that image with the small one, you can see it goes all the way down to 10K. So we don't need to go all the way down to that size. Let's just go down to maybe even like this. So we're down to that size. So it's still 114K. The resolution is really quite beautiful. If I zoom in, it's still giving me that high resolution. But I could actually go in there now, and then maybe I'll just take the 412 size, like that. Now, it is a little bit blurry, but let me just shrink this down again. So we're dealing with the physics here of these images and the quality of the image, and that's down to 67K. So I think one of the other options is, you see it's already taken that down to 968. So if we bring these down, and then if we have 10 slides here at 60 to 70K each, we're going to have a much smaller size. My recommendation would be to not have 10 slides. Maybe even do this so that you create a carousel with only, say, 6 or 7 slides or 5 slides. Having 10 is quite a lot, and it really beefs up the K weight. So I mean, there's several things you can do. I mean, our image rendition supports that, but I think having 10 slides in general creates quite a heavy ad. Now, the good news is that all of these will load after the ad loads. So you shouldn't have a problem of loading. It's just that the size of the ad is quite heavy. In terms of Chrome blocking the ad, as long as it's under 4 megs, it should be fine. So this would be my recommendation. I'm not going to save this. I'll let you do it. But this is how you would solve the problem. Thank you very much.